You know, or no, excuse me, UFC 102 is when he had his first fight. So, and a couple people, you know, here and there have mentioned the school thing. You know, it leads me to believe, okay, he must be doing school, and Dana must be allowing it, and that's why there's nothing mentioned with Todd Duffy right now. We're going to jump into right now is UFC 103. So Santos versus Crow Cop, which I thought was basically what you were saying earlier was Junior Dos Santos calling out party, man.
Yeah.
Coming out party, man. That's holy crap.
It's like the new coming out and putting the old to bed.
Yeah,
you know, really.
Oh man, totally. Crow Cop ends the fight with this, you know, like basically
yeah,
quits.
that was embarrassing.
And the same card, though, another match we really wanted to, another match I wanted to kind of run into a little bit. On the same card, Tyson Griffin versus Hermes Franca.
A.K.A. Ethel from Sanford and Son.
Oh my gosh, he came out with the purple hair, and the first thing that we thought of, we're like, what does he look like, man? What is that? What is with that hair?
Fred!
It was awesome, man. It was awesome. He comes out, he's got this, you know, you old fish-eyed boo. You know, he's got that goofy-looking hair going on. And I actually thought he fought a decent fight, but, you know what, Tyson Griffin is good. I like Tyson Griffin, and he took it to him, and he put him out. He knocked him out. And it kind of sucks because Hermes Franca got caught after that. Actually, I think it was the same card. Paul Daly versus Martin Kampman. Martin Kampman had a great chin going into that fight. Martin Kampman, you know, had a nice record, just a good fighter altogether. Still is a good fighter. I don't want to take nothing away from the guy. But Paul Daly had every answer.
Oh, yeah.
And knocked his...
He's got power, too.
Huge power.
He was freaking A.
Still, UFC 103. UFC 103 was a pretty good card. I mean, it wasn't really that great looking from the outside, but once you saw it, it was like, oh, yeah, it's a sweet card. Koscheck versus Trigg. Koscheck just nailed Trigg.
Yeah, that's
totally took him out. And that was where his comeback match was.
Exactly. And that's what we were talking about earlier. We're going to touch on this again.
Yeah.
In my mind, I really had no respect for Koscheck because I thought he was just out there to throw some fists, and that was going to be the extent. If he caught somebody, so be it, whatever. But he is adapted to the fight game. He's getting better. And we've even seen submissions, you know, along with knockouts. Yeah. And like you said, this fight right here showed that Koscheck is the real deal.
Just make quick mention of the, I mean, it was a huge debacle, and everybody got up in arms and pissed off about UFC 104, Machida Shogun.
Yeah,
We both had our thoughts on the fight, you know what I mean? I'm still a huge fan of Leona Machida. Leona Machida is a certain kind of fighter. If you go in expecting Leona Machida to come out of the corner flying at you, that's not the fighter he is.
He's waiting for you to make your mistakes so he can counter, you know.
And I don't care what anybody says, he did catch Shogun on mistakes. And he did do the countering that he normally does. It's just, sure, Shogun had a good offense. He had a great offense. But you know what, man? What's really going to be seen is when they rematch.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like we were talking about earlier, man, both of them are going to come out with a completely different game plan. It's going to be a completely different fight.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's not going to, because that
They're
fight
both changing
really
it
was,
up. Yeah.
That fight really was what we normally call a freaking sleeper match.
Yeah.
I mean...
Oh, in the first round alone, you know, if it was Pride rules, they would have lost 10, 20% of the purse right off the bat.
Yeah.
And that would have got the fists and the legs flying, okay? Because you start taking people's money, their asses are going to get in gear.
Yeah. The whole floor of that cage would have been yellow because of all the cards flying around.
Hell yeah.
So moving on to...
Couture Vera. Vera looked like crap. You don't want to see somebody getting held against the cage, and that's it. There's no action. It's just leverage. You know, that's cool. But you got to go on the attack. You got to do something on the defense. You got to do something. You got to move. You got to do something. Vera looked like shit. And Couture's just, you know, he's got the leverage. He can pin you there. But after that, we're not seeing much anymore, are we?
No.
Not seeing much.
That's why I think him and Coleman is going to be a good match.
Yeah.
Because
you might as well grab your sleeper bag. You grab your sleepers. You grab your tents. You grab your marshmallows. You build a little campfire. And just be ready for a sleeper. Get in, you know, just be ready because...
Get your acoustic, too. You can play some old songs. Put your
Kumbaya.
Yeah, Kumbaya, and you can start the Kumbaya at the beginning of the fight.
Everybody is.
Actually, you know what? Start at the third round because it's going to go the distance.
Oh, yeah.
So, Penn versus Sanchez was a stinking bloodbath.
You know what? And I picked Sanchez, too. And you know what?
You know, I wasn't sure Sanchez was going to really win that fight. I kind of picked Penn to win it. But I thought, man, you know what? Diego Sanchez has got a hell of a shot.
Yeah.
He's looked really good.
He's looked really good. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Really good.
He's had the submissions.
And he's come off the show, too. Yeah. He's another one of them guys that comes off the Ultimate Failure show.
And it just turned me kind of sour because of BJ Penn. Ever since we talked about the very beginning with GSP and his little excuses with the grease and all this crap, and coming out of the, you know, jumping out of the pool with the 3 feet. You know,
3 feet.
Exactly. And, you know, it kind of, if you're a fight fan, I know some people like BJ Penn, but if you're a kind of fight fan than I am, it kind of pisses you off a little bit and looks kind of arrogant, okay? He beat Sanchez, and it wasn't even a question, really.
Yeah.
And Sanchez's face looked like some chuck wagon that was found under the chuck wagon, basically.
It was like we said earlier, man. It was a bloodbath.
He was done.
Well,
That lip
match
was split.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. He had cuts all over him, man, when they were done. Another match I wanted to jump onto, and it was actually before in 107. It was at 106 was Koscheck, man, coming back again. And Anthony Rumble Johnson, man. I kind of thought, you know what, this is a good match. These are two good knockout guys going up against each other, and Koscheck, man, just ruled the fight. I mean, he had the fight, and when he finally got, Anthony Rumble Johnson's back, choked him out, no problem. Rear naked choke, done. And it just goes to show you, he's not only a good, nasty puncher. Excuse me. We're drinking some beers here, and I'm burping it up. He's not only a good puncher, man. He's a good submission guy as well.
Hold on a second before you do that. Just let it flow for a second.
You got a poop?
No.
All right. So the last fight we're going to get into. This is going to finish out our night. We can kind of touch on some other things or whatever, but this Frank Mir. It's from UFC 107. Frank Mir versus Jack Congo. And we've gone over this a whole bunch of times.
It was a damn joke, and this was like this was watching the deterioration of Czech Congo through this past year.
It was 2009 was a horrible year for Czech Congo.
Yes, it was.
He loses to Cain Velasquez, comes off that loss, loses to Frank Mir.
Like I was talking earlier, I actually thought that Czech Congo was a superior Muay Thai striker and fighter. We've seen him with the Muay clinch. We've seen him with the devastating knees and elbows. He crafts it out on the ground every time. We know that.
Oh, yeah.
Has no sign of any jiu-jitsu or wrestling skills whatsoever.
Horrible. Absolutely zero ground game whatsoever.
You know what? I'm going to have to give something to him. He might be able to put a leg up there to block a full mount. But that's about the extent of his ground game. But another thing is there's got to be a time and a place where Dana says enough.
Yeah.
This has got to be enough. I mean, go back to K1, dude, or something. Brennan Daniel. Dumbfounded me was Mir beat him at his own damn game.
Yeah.
Because he had no game stand up. It was a freaking mismatch from hell. It was done. It was done before it started. It's
a left hand of all things too. Mir comes in with left hand, drops him, comes over. Czech has a lame kick, trying to kick his leg or whatever, and Mir just comes down, grabs hold of his neck, and chokes him out.
And speaking of left hands, who couldn't guard the left? What was his name?
Oh yeah,
one fight.
This is another funny fight, but it was the debut match from Big Knock's brother, Antonio Ruggiero.
Ruggiero debut, yep.
Yeah. And he lands a few shots here and there. Finally, he lands one nasty one. Luis Cain has got nowhere to go, and we're seeing him keep getting hit on the left side. It's like you're like, dude, this guy has no concept of how to block the left side, And so
he's never trained for a southpaw.
Yeah, exactly. And so he gets taken down. He gets not get taken down, but he gets knocked out like that.
Basically, we're going to wrap it up right now, and we're going to say 2009, it was dominated by UFC. We'll have to give them that. But 2010, you're going to have to watch out for the strike forces out there, UFC, Dana. In my personal opinion, because we have some exodus of Henderson.
Yeah.
Henderson's gone.
I'm going to see some more fighters heading over to Strikeforce. I freaking guarantee that.
He couldn't sign
January 30th. January 30th is going to be
Reckoning Day.
It's going to be wicked.
Yeah.
And that's right out the gate. It's cable.
Yep.
It's free.
Cheers. We don't. This is
we're ready to kick this 2010 off big time.
Exactly. We're going to have a lot of good fights coming up. I know it, and we're going to be on top of it. You guys keep tuning in, and wait for our next blog. For right now, this is the year in review for UFC 2009. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Thanks a lot.
Put the cherry on the sundae.